If the first thing you do in the morning is eat a live frog, you can get through the rest of the day knowing that the worst is behind you. It's a quote from Mark Twain that I've grown pretty fond of. And as a procrastinator, I can say the first thing I do every day is not eat a frog. What is the frog? Well, that's the task we find most daunting, the one we put off to the very end. Maybe a slideshow presentation you have no idea what you're going to do. Let's talk about something easier to digest. This is my food. I get to make art on a plate. I love the facial expressions on guests when they get a plate and they don't know where to start. They spin their plate, they hover their fork above the food, not knowing that they can just dive in. It's a lot like life, a lot like the tasks in front of us. Let me back up. My name is Kyle. Ever since I can remember, I've had my head buried in notebooks, writing away, avoiding the problems of the real world. Maybe an argument from the family or frustrations with a girlfriend. Either way, this was my outlet. It's better than punching holes in the wall or screaming into a pillow. This is what I do. I fill up notebooks with anything that comes to mind. I love telling stories. One of my favorite stories has got to be Stand By Me. Group of kids go and find a dead body. It's a great movie. You should go rent it right now if you haven't seen it. Anyways, everyone always wanted to be Chris Chambers, leader of the gang. Not me. I wanted to be like Gordy. I related to him a lot more. He was a writer.
Fuck writing. I don't want to be a writer. It's stupid. It's a stupid waste of time.
I found that quote to be pretty accurate to how I feel about writing, as it can be strenuous. But I don't want to just write. I want to create. Create what? Plots, storyboards, playwrights, poems, mission statements for businesses. I have hundreds of pens that have been sacrificed in my account. I keep a drawer full of them. There's nothing worse than having an idea and not being able to write it down. I figured out pretty quickly that my best option would be to start typing. So that's what I did. Poems, open mic nights, short stories, playwrights, anything I had come to mind, I'd type, print out, give to friends, or read them to a crowd myself. Nothing yet has been commissioned nor done professionally. It's the way it goes. Comedy and tragedy are aspects of life that we just have to accept. There's nothing worse than figuring out what you want to be in this world and then finding out that the odds are completely stacked against you. I say I want to be a writer, and people are like, oh, do you know there's 130 million books published in the world? Gee, thanks. But that's not what it's all about. I don't want to be another fish in the sea. I also don't want to just write books. That would be great. I love novels. It's an amazing profession, but everything deserves a good story. Video games, songs, magazines, businesses, plays, movies, all of these should have a happy ending. So let's create our own story. We get to control the ending. That's how I can help you. Writer's block doesn't exist in my world. That's a starting block. So how can I help you? Let's just sit down and talk about your ideas. Let's make our own ending. How do you want your story to end? Let's do that. Maybe grab a bite to eat and talk about it. Let's not start with a frog though. Maybe something like this grilled swordfish salad.